Patrick Mosepe is the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns and is the CAF president. Do you think that this man is having some kind of undue advantage for South Africa?
Yes, he's having. If this thing had happened, if it was in Nigeria that had this advantage, the South Africa would have protested.
In fact, the world would have been on
the
protest.
world would have been on fire.
Lesotho playing, hosting Nigeria in South Africa. We are playing against two enemies there because the South Africans are against us.
We talk about the undue advantage being given to this Southern African team in the same group with Nigeria. Firstly, I found it annoying to see that Super Eagles are in the same group with South Africa, Lesotho, Rwanda, and Zimbabwe. Let's leave Rwanda aside, but Zimbabwe, Lesotho, I feel like there's a kind of conspiracy in that group somehow. First, leading to that 3-point deduction, if not that Nigeria and FIFA have to, come to the rescue.
Nigeria,
Benin Republic to have to speak up louder. If not, maybe something else will have happened there. Now, secondly, playing their own games in South Africa, do you think is giving South Africa an advantage?
Yes.
And considering the fact that Patrick Mosepe is the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns and is the CAF president, do you think that this man is having some kind of undue advantage for South Africa?
Yes, he's having. If this thing had happened, if it was in Nigeria that had this advantage, the South Africa would have protested.
In fact, the world would have been on
the
protest.
world would have been on fire. But Zimbabwe, Lesotho, playing all their home matches in South Africa. All the ones they played with Nigeria, it was in South Africa. Any other team, Benin Republic, any other team they played against was in South Africa. Zimbabwe playing against Lesotho was still in South Africa. Now, South Africa will play against Zimbabwe, and that is meant to be a home match for Zimbabwe, but it will be played in South Africa. So what do you expect?
And an important tie like that.
Yes. What do you expect? All these other matches is meant to be played in a neutral ground where none of these people has any advantage. But they are giving an undue advantage to South Africa. That's just the way I look at it. And I strongly believe it's because of the CAF president in person of Mosepe. So that's just it.
And Nigeria can't do anything about that. I have not done anything about that.
Do we have anybody in CAF? If you had somebody in CAF, an important person in CAF, I believe maybe the person would have protested. But we don't have anybody in CAF.
Okay, Mr. Albert, what do you think about this undue advantage being given to South Africa?
First and foremost, CAF says Lesotho do not have a nice pitch, standard pitch for them to play in. Qualifier. So they now sorted in using a South African pitch, which is Peter Mokaba Stadium that are going to host Nigeria on Thursday. Well, they constitute the South African region, the Angola, the Eswatini, South Africa, Lesotho, and all of that. Yes, I think there is an undue advantage in that effect. Why? Because Lesotho hosting Nigeria in South Africa, we are playing against two enemies there because the South Africans are against us. Lesotho is against us. So the entire stadium will be filled up with the Lesotho fans and the South African fans. You understand? And this thing goes outside even football. It goes into our personal life. The Nigerians and South Africa living there. They have not been living in peace for a very, very long time. And football is another thing again that caused a lot of enmity between these two footballing nations. So, well, I think there's an undue advantage because it wouldn't have just been South Africa alone. Other countries that constitute the South African region also have good standard stadium. Why don't they use other stadium? But the Mozambique and the Lesotho use only South Africa, and Zimbabwe. They use South Africa, and South Africa. So, well, since Mosepe is the president of CAF and he has the advantage, we agree we are human beings. We always like being on the advantageous side. So if he's taking the advantage, well, no problem. But let him not forget, by tomorrow, if it falls into the hand of another person, and this happened to South Africa, they shouldn't complain.
When it comes to Nigeria, the whole world can protest. And, it's like most of our NFF officials or NFF president that we always have, they always behave like maybe they are Christian or they are Muslim, they don't want to fight. But I feel like football is a game. And there's one kind of politics that we don't play in this country. And that politics is giving Nigerian team a disadvantage. Because, to be honest, Pastor doesn't play football. Afar doesn't play football. Alaji don't play football. Even if you are called Alaji, when you come to the pitch, or when they call something a game, if you are playing a Ludo, or you are playing a PlayStation, with an opponent, you must find every means.
Pastor Taribo played Garba Lawal.
When he was playing, he was not a pastor. It was after he
Garba Lawal
retired.
was an affair.
I was an affair, but he was tackling opponents inside the pitch. Okay. So that is what I mean by that. They don't play football. What I mean by when you are on the pitch, you drop Bible outside. Even if ball go outside, when we say now you kick the ball, come on, say you go raise hand until the referee tell you say now your opponent get the ball. If not, football is a game. But the way our NFL president usually play this game, they play it as if they are afraid of FIFA, afraid of CAF, afraid of this opponent. Football is a politics, and Nigerians team have not really played that politics, because you see when Nigeria will travel to go and play games, they will maltreat Nigeria anyhow, keep them sleep, make them sleep at the airport, all of that. At the end of the day, it was only that Libya hole that happened that they have to turn back, because that was a very scary situation.
Considering considering what is happening in Libya
yes,
now, that was why.
You understand now? If not, they would have just died that matter off. They would just say,
if Libya was a peaceful place, they would have just died.
Yeah, they would just die that matter off. And this thing has been happening. But when they come to Nigeria, they will buy gala, buy Mr. Beast, give them at the airport, carry them to even the best hotel that they did not even put our own Super Eagles play. All these things. Don't you think that even we play against ourselves? Because for this football, it's not only being played on the pitch.
Big brother. Nigeria is playing the role of a big brother. What do you expect an NFA representative that is in CAF to do? One, when they are corrupt, they cannot protest, because if they want to protest, they will open their file, their corrupt file. So they cannot protest. You don't expect anything more from them. It's a due advantage to South Africa. Let the South Africans enjoy it. Mosempe has really done well for them. So let them enjoy the advantage. As Mr. Abbott said, if it happens to any other team, let the South Africans not complain.
Don't forget when Issa Hayatou was the CAF president, there were so many politics and rigmarole that happened that favored Cameroon a lot. So, well, I don't even know why. The last time Mamaju contested, I think, for CAF president, Nigeria have never won CAF president before.
No, I don't. I think maybe somebody, it was back in the day. I think Alex Akinyele. No, Nigeria have never won. I mean NFL chairman. I think Alex Akinyele some time ago.
Nigeria has never won.
I think there's a proverb that says that when your father is in the palace, definitely the children are not expected to be in a rough place. So definitely you have to enjoy the advantage. So it's high time Nigerian official begin to fight for that position. For Patrick Mosepe to go that length also, he knows what he's doing, and if he fight to that level, definitely you can't expect him to see his own country dying or see advantage and then decide to close his side. It's not done anywhere. So I believe it's high time Nigerian NFF chairman, big names in our football, they should come out to also begin to contest for this position and fight and go into this politics of this game, so that we also, apart from the result on the pitch, can also have advantage to support our Super Eagles team.
You cannot crown a clown and expect a king. Who do you want in that NFA to go and represent? All of them are a bunch of mediocres in that NFA. I must tell you the truth, without any fear of favor. When we do things right, that's when our standard of football will improve. We need ex-internationals that can take the mantle of leadership in that NFF. That's just the gospel truth. Once we do the right things, then you expect to see good football or good standard in Nigeria, and it will also affect the league.
Well, to cap this undue advantage, all the players invited in the Super Eagles team are all professionals. Let them go there. They used to say the 12th opponent, which is the fans. The fans will only shout from the stand. They can't enter the pitch. Let Super Eagles go to that South Africa, that Peter Mokama said,
get the job done.
Trounce them like 5-0.
They don't have the character.
No, I mean to prove them wrong. To prove them wrong, let them go to that pitch and trounce them like 5-0.
They don't want to prove them wrong.
They will.
They might try and win 2-1. They might try and win 2-1. That's what.
How about you?
3-0.
I go for 2-0 to Nigeria.
Okay. You might even end 1-1.